But here's the problem. Nobody should have been kicked off, and nobody should have been laughed at.
Hey guys, it's Alura.
I'm Dustin.
And we're likely lost. We did not post a video last week because we were flying back to North Carolina to go to our friend's wedding. That kind of prompted this video we're making now. It's the worst experience that we've ever had flying.
This is a little out of character for our channel. Like, this is, it's not going to be the happiest thing.
So it's going to be like a story time video. And I want to preface by saying I've flown a lot in my life. I've never experienced something like this before. This experience
was really, really bad.
It was really bad.
Not good. We are at our job in Montana, and we had to get back for a wedding. Alura's best friend got married, and we wanted
Hi,
to make
Stormy and Donnie.
we wanted to make it to Wilmington for it, and we planned a 5-day go back to North Carolina kind of thing.
Yeah, we were gonna fly in one day, and then have 3 full days with the wedding in the middle. So we had like a day before and a day after the wedding to do whatever, and then a flying out day. So 5 days, 3 full days there.
So we start and we get there early. We're about an hour and a half early at the airport. Mm-hmm. We check Mochi in. We pay the $125 to let her fly with us, so we don't have any problems with that. And we're on track to make this a success. Mm-hmm. So we get all our boarding passes. We get to the desk. We check in. We get on the airplane. The first thing that happens is an hour delay.
The pilot said that the handheld devices that the ground crew used to check, count bags or whatever, check in the bags to go into cargo, that machine was messed up. So there was some kind of technical delay that caused us to be in the plane for an hour.
Yeah, something about the luggage that they screwed up or got screwed up in the process. So we sat there an hour. So that's an extra hour that we were on the plane. Then we had to do our 4-hour flight all the way to Dallas. And within 30 minutes of reaching Dallas, they decide that we're not going to Dallas, we're going to go to Austin.
They said it was hard to hear the pilot on the microphone thing, but they basically said that the Dallas airport was closed or closing or something like that because of the weather, and we had to go to Austin. And the pilot said, "But don't worry, there's lots of flights that leave Austin, and they should be able to rebook you. Just talk to the agent."
This is what bothered me about it, though. We were 30 minutes within reaching Dallas, and then 20 minutes later on the intercom, they're talking about flying us back to Dallas on a bigger airplane.
Yeah, so after he said, Austin, you can fly out of Austin, whatever, they said, I think they're going to be getting a Boeing ready for you guys to go to Dallas. And we're like,
why don't you just go to Dallas?
Close. Yeah, why? We were so close. What's happening?
So we get to we go to Austin, and I'll let Alura take it from here. But this is it just doesn't get better.
So we land in Austin. Everything's fine. Our entire plane lines up to talk to the gate agent. So we're kind of in the back. We're kind of towards the end of the line. It took us 3 hours. Well, just about 3 hours to get through the line. And I'm not really sure what people were doing. What we thought was we were going to talk to the agent. We had a few different flights picked out to fly out of Austin, and we thought that we were going to be we had the option to either fly back to Dallas or rebook a flight out of Austin to North Carolina. And we found an early one. We would have gotten to North Carolina pretty early. And so we're going through the line, and we're not really sure what's going on, what the other passengers are doing or whatever. But when we finally... Okay, and let me say this.
Yes,
as we're going through this, 2.5 hour, 3 hour line, the Austin airport's closing down. Staff's leaving, all the stores and restaurants are shutting down.
They didn't have no bigger airplane for me to get right on. It was just ridiculous.
Yeah, the airport was closing down. And there was basically one agent left who was at the desk. So when we finally reach to the desk, it was our turn. This lady leaves, and she goes to the gate, and she's just kind of hanging around there. And we're like, what the heck? Is she going to start?
I didn't even know where she was. She just left. And she had been walking off from the desk multiple
A
times.
lot, yeah.
And it's like, I get it, you're the only one, but like, why are you just walking off? Like, tell somebody something.
Yeah, she didn't say anything to us. We had people behind us too, and she ended up going to the gate to start, what is it? Checking people into the Boeing that's going back to Dallas. And we stood there for a few minutes. You finally went to the bathroom because you held it the whole time.
Yeah, I didn't want to lose my spot in line.
Yeah, so like, we thought the line was going to go by like faster than it did. So I'm like, Dustin, just go to the bathroom. I'll just wait. The lady never came back. Dustin came back into line, and I'm like, let's just go in the Boeing. I was getting really pissed at this point. I was like, this makes no sense because we were so close to Dallas, and it just did not make sense. Granted, there was really bad weather that day, so I don't really know what actually happened. I don't know if something worse happened with the luggage, like, that had to do with that first, like, hour delay when we were in Montana, or what happened. But she started checking people onto the plane that was going back into Dallas, and everybody was like, just like really aggravated, and like, I know they called a pilot in to fly this thing back to Dallas, and he looked pissed. Yeah, I mean, the whole situation was really just like annoying to me. So we get onto the plane going to Dallas, and everybody's annoyed and mad. But there was a lot of people that didn't get on that plane. So we were kind of able to pick our own seats, which was cool.
So once we got on the plane to go back to Dallas, that we went right past, Mochi's been in her box, for a long time now. It's getting real late. She's not had any water the whole time. We thought we were going to be there at 11. We were going to let her out and get all her water and food laid out for her so she can start living again.
Yeah.
So we're starting to worry about Mochi at this point. Like, it's been a long time. So the flight attendant lady that went by, she was giving people water, and I asked her for a cup. That's all I asked her for. I didn't want the ice. I just wanted the cup.
Yeah, we had water. We didn't want like a full cup of water or ice or anything. We were gonna put like a little bit of water in a cup.
Mm-hmm. But this lady, she was like,
"For what?
For what?" And I was like, "Oh my god, I just want a cup." So yeah, that lady, she was not very nice about it, and I don't like that lady. And then she sent some other lady up there, and the person beside me got a cup of water. And that other lady comes back up after saying that. She's like, "Did you get a cup of water?" I was like, "No." Then she gave me a cup of water. I didn't want the water in it. I just wanted a cup. And, it was really irritating. I know that maybe she's irritated she's having to fly out, but like, come on, man.
Yeah.
I paid a lot of money to be on this flight. Don't be mean to me. We got our cup. Moch wouldn't drink anything anyway. She's too stressed out in the airplane. And then we made it to Dallas. And when we got into Dallas, everybody's missed their flight by this point. We didn't have anywhere to go right away.
Yeah, oh yeah, everybody missed their flight. Like, everybody is mad. We get off of the plane, and we want to talk to the agent that's at the gate. So we turned to look at her, and she said, "Go to C12."
I mean,
go
just
to
like
C12.
That.
And then we were like, we don't know where. Go to C12. So we're like, okay. Don't know what C12 is, but
we're going.
Yeah. So I guess she says it to like everybody that was on this flight back, because we're all walking to C12. Nobody knows why we're walking to C12, but we're just doing what we're told because we don't know like
what's happening.
What's happening. So I'm looking at the signs and it says baggage claim C12, and I'm like, we don't have checked bags, and I'm just getting really pissed because I'm like, this, like, we're walking to places we don't need to go, and it was aggravating. So our whole plane gets in line to this gate, the C12 gate, whatever. And this lady, one of the staff people, come up to us, and she was like, "What are you guys doing? Did you get the 800 number or whatever?" And we're like, "No." Like, we were told to go to C12. What?
This lady actually, she wasn't standing at the desk. She was just walking down the hall and saw us. Like,
yeah,
all these people came up randomly. Like, she wasn't dressed like the attendants or nothing. She just, I guess she worked at the airport.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Did you call the number?" And nobody knows what she's talking about. And we're right at the back of the line, and like, so she happens to run into us first. And we're listening to her. We get the number, and then this poor old man walks up to ask her something. And
she's like, "Sir, you need to calm." What did she say?
"You need to calm down. I'm talking to these people right now." And it's like 2 in the morning.
Yeah, and like, we're all just like looking at each other like, this is not real. Like, this cannot be real. And, like, I felt bad for that old man.
Hey, just come up and ask a question like everybody wanted to know.
Yeah, so then I asked her, because I was like, in my mind, I'm like, okay, this woman is working with us, so I'm like, why did we get sent to C12? She's like, I have no idea. And then I'm like, okay, you're useless. And I just turned around. Me and Dustin both just turned around and walked. And she's like, but if you call the 800 number, she's talking to us. We just kept walking. I'm like, F this woman.
We're just done. People can only be
done.
so mean. Like, you can only deal with so many. Like,
yeah.
We dealt with the lady about the cup. We dealt with the C12 lady. And now we're dealing with this lady, like, talking down to Grandpa next to us. Like, why are you so mean to people?
Yeah.
So, I mean, we called the number and immediately, like, Alura's getting a little upset at this point.
I was getting upset because I had a wedding to go to. So we were supposed to fly into Wilmington at 11 o'clock at night. And then the next day, I was going to have a full day before the wedding. So I was going to get my nails done and I was going to get my dress pressed or whatever because I was in the wedding. And now in my mind, it's 3 o'clock in the morning, the day, and I'm supposed to be getting my dress pressed at 7 a.m. in North Carolina. I'm in Dallas, and I'm like, this is unreal. And yeah, I was getting really mad, especially also because of like fuel prices and stuff. The ticket prices are crazy. So going from Montana to Wilmington, round trip, 2 people, it was $1,400, which is like the most I've ever spent in my life on plane tickets. It was just a stupid amount of money. Which, Stormy and Donnie, if you're watching, I would do it all over again for you guys.
It's worth it. That was a great wedding, man.
But, it was just an outrageous amount of money. Like, the amount of money I paid for this should not have happened. And now I'm sitting here panicking that I'm not going to be able to make, like, my best friend's wedding. Like, and we were thinking, like, should we just rent a car? We're going to have to drive, like, what is it,
1,300 miles.
1,300 miles. And so Dustin calls the 800 number.
And I want to stop right here because this is important.
Yeah.
I call the 800 number and I get a guy named Elliot, and Elliot was
Shout
awesome.
out to Elliot.
Elliot, you're the first decent person I saw working for American Airlines the whole time. I was so unimpressed with everybody else, like you, and there's like one other lady, I don't know her name, but she was really nice. But all them stinking attendants or whatever, every one of them, I hate all of them. I hate all you. I'm going to have to cut that out. But I don't like you. And, but yeah, Elliot, I tell Elliot the situation. I tell him, look, here's the thing. I need to get this wedding. I got to get there. I paid to get there. Paid a lot of money to get there. You took me somewhere I don't want to go. I understand things happen, but this is not my friend's wedding. This is my wife's friend's wedding. So it's not going to be okay.
And Dustin's being really nice. And, like, in the background, I'm like...
She's not being very nice. She's being very, very upset. And it's understandable. It's late.
I was saying the F word a lot. I'll admit it.
It's almost 3 a.m. at this point. It's at least 2. We got there at 2.
Oh, we got there at 2?
We got there at 2. Like, we fell asleep. It was just a little after 3. But, like, we got there at 2. We called the 800 number. We spoke with Elliot. Told him the situation. I said, look, I either need to be in Wilmington tomorrow. Like, I need to be there. I don't want none of this standby junk everybody else is getting. Like, you'll be on standby or you might get there. I need to be there, or I need all my money back to rent a car. So he puts me on hold, and he checks on me too. Like, he comes back to tell me he's still working on it. Like, he's being actively trying to be helpful, which is better than everybody else I spoke with so far. So thank you, for real. If anything, whatever this guy, Elliot guy, you deserve something, man, an award. You'd get one. Thank you for trying. And he came up with a solution for us. I don't like it, but it's better than nothing. Yeah. It was basically, he was going to separate us, you know. But had he not come up with that, I told him I wanted all our money back. Like, we needed it all back for a car. We needed all the gas money we can get. But he gave us the option to get on 2 different airplanes. One was nonstop and one was stopping in Charlotte. Wasn't ideal, but it was going to be easier than driving all night and definitely faster to do it that way. So we took the 2 tickets, and we didn't have to be on standby. All these other people, I think everybody else ended up on standby. I don't know what happened to them.
Yeah, we got actual tickets. So we, like, fell asleep for a few hours on the bench in Dallas, and then we got IHOP, started our morning, like, kind of like, okay, it's a new day. It'll be fine. And
after sleeping on a bench, though, that was the cool part. I don't know if you said that.
What?
Never slept on a bench at the airport before.
That wasn't cool to me. The IHOP was cool to me. Sleeping on a bench, not cool to me.
Well, it's a different experience. I wasn't
they
happy
owed us
with
a
it.
hotel room.
Yeah, I imagine we were there long enough to like maybe they should have done something for us, but
yeah.
all right.
So I took Mochi, and Dustin took like our bags, and we went to our separate gates to fly out separately. I did the nonstop to Wilmington. Dustin got the layover. And you want to tell your story first?
I'll tell mine first, and this is because I've had a terrible experience with every attendant so far. So here's my story. I was leaving Terminal D of the Dallas airport. I got on the plane, and I'm sitting down, and I got my fresh new ticket. That's important for this next part. And apparently they oversold this plane. I got a ticket that came out of nowhere, So I'm sitting there trying to be real quiet, acting like I ain't done nothing wrong. It wasn't my seat, but it was some other people. They double sold a set of seats, and the attendants are just, you have to leave, and then they bring other people, then they have to leave, and they'll bring the other people back, and then basically it came down to like there's like 3 flight attendants standing in the middle of the plane, laughing about these people having to get off the plane. Like, this is how it works. Ha 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 ha. And it's like these people are actively getting out of their seats.
Yeah, and that is not okay.
Like, it's not cool. Like, they're actively, like, for the second time leaving their seats or whatever, like, having to get off the plane. And I'm like, that is so disrespectful. Like, if that was happening to me right now, I'd probably be losing my mind.
Yeah.
It's just wrong. It's not right. Like, this is just terrible. Like, I get it happens. Like, keep your mouth shut. I understand it can happen, but...
Yeah, I understand it can happen, but...
To have your flight attendant laughing at you on the way up.
That is not okay.
No, and in fact, I better be glad it didn't happen to me, because I'd have thrown a fit at that point. I was so sick of it. But yeah, they were not handling that junk respectfully at all, and I think every one of them suckers should be fired. But yeah, they kicked this nice old couple off, and then old grandma got to stay, which was great that she got to stay. But here's the problem: nobody should have been kicked off, and nobody should have been laughed at. Nobody should have been laughed at. But we take off after that. It was delayed a little bit because of the confusion, and I had 6 minutes to make it from one side of Charlotte's airport to the other side. And I made it. I made it in 6 minutes. And I got over there, and nobody's loading up. Like, this departure time was like 4 minutes from then. Nobody's loaded up. And there's another delay. Like, this is literally like the 5th delay, I feel like, on this flight. And, like, they delayed it because the little thing that reaches out so you can get out of the airplane, like the hallway that stretches out to you, was stuck, and my pilot was stuck on another plane. So this is my ticket that was supposed to get me home has been delayed on my first flight, and now the second flight is being held up. They did fix it pretty fast, but it's just it's ridiculous how many times I was held up.
It was like Murphy's Law. Like, at some point during our trip, I really felt like I had died and went to hell. Like, my mind was going. I feel like I was getting, like, cabin fever, and I'm like, it's not gonna end. Like you're stuck in airports and delayed flights for the rest of your life. Like, it was like cabin fever. I was losing my mind. But... And
this is my last part of my trip. Like, it was a small little plane. I was boarding up in Charlotte once they got the pilot over there. I get this little red tag from the lady at the desk, and I asked her, I was like, I don't want to check a bag. And she said, oh, yours a fit. And I still have the tag. She said it was fine, don't worry about it. Well, I get up to the airplane, and the flight attendant that's always standing there immediately doesn't say, excuse me, doesn't say, are you checking the bag? She says, what's this? And taps my red tag. And I was like, I'm already angry at this point. And it's like, people, you got to be respectful a little bit. I'm sick of flight attendants at this point. What's this? And I said, it's for the bag, but I don't need to check it. It's supposed to fit. She said, I don't know. And I was like, okay. And then I walked past her, and I got up there. And there's only one spot for my bag to go because they have this old style flip up thing. And I start putting it in there, and she immediately is following me saying, it's not going to fit. So then I'm upset. So I slammed the sucker in there. And I said, looks like it fits. And I was losing my mind at this point. And these ladies, man, I hate flight attendants. They're awful. And this lady, she said, and just walked off. Like, she stayed out of my business, man.
Makes me so mad.
I mean, be respectful. Don't make people angry. You're making your job harder. You're lucky I know Jesus. Okay, you're lucky. But that was my last bad experience. Oh man, that was my last bad experience. I was so angry at flight attendants, but I got there and I made it to see my wonderful wife and my cat. Laura, what happened on your flight?
The first thing there was really just two things that happened on the flight that pissed me off. One that really pissed me off. So I get to my gate and I need to get an updated boarding pass because I don't have any kind of boarding pass for this ticket. I have it on my app, but because I was carrying Mochi onto the plane, it wouldn't let me check in. So I had to get an updated, like, printed boarding pass. So I go in line at the gate to talk to the person, and in front of me is another woman waiting in line to talk to the person. And in front of me, in front of everybody, she says, I don't want to fly in an airplane with a cat because I have really bad allergies to their hair and dander. And the agents, I'm so happy that, like, I was, like, sitting there, I rolled my eyes. Like, I was like, oh my god, this cannot be happening. And I was like, if they try to kick me off of this plane, like, I'm gonna lose my mind because I paid $125 to carry my cat on. I don't want her in cargo. I paid for this.
My cat's not going in cargo. She better in cargo.
Yeah, and
not.
And I just wasn't gonna deal with this after everything that happened. I'm like, this cannot be happening. And
we're separated at this point. Like, she's dealing with this on her own.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Wish you were there because I just wish, like, I said something to her because she was so stupid. Makes me so mad. But the agents were really good. They were like typing on their computer and they're like, oh, well, the animal's going to be in the front of the plane and you're going to be in the back. And I didn't hear what this lady said. She was actually two people in front of me, or, you know, like, skipped one, whatever. And I didn't hear what she said, but I think she was trying to move to the front after they said that. Because she said something and then the agents were like, you just said you wanted to be in the back. And so I'm like, this lady's really just, like, trying to, like, kick me off or put Mochi on the bottom, and, like, it made me really mad. But what really pissed me off was, like, when she turned around, she, like, looked at me and she looked at my cat and she covered her face and she did this big, like, obnoxious loop around. And I was just like, ha ha ha, you're I was so happy. And then I pulled up and I'm like, I need to get my my new boarding pass. And the agents were like, oh, look at your kitty. It was so nice. So, yeah, that happened. And then we finally were able to board the plane. It wasn't delayed or anything. We all went onto the plane. I put Mochi under the seat in front of me. Everybody put their luggage away. And we're sitting down. And we were sitting there for like 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes. And the pilot comes up and he's like, hey, everybody, unfortunately, there's some kind of problem with one of the engines. And they have to run the engine. But we can't have you guys on the plane when we run it. So you got, or your luggage. So you have to get all your stuff and go back into the lobby, whatever, gate area. And so everyone's like, oh my god. Well, I think other people didn't care, but in my mind, I'm like, I'm never going. I'm never going home. I'm never going.
This is important because, like, I'm on my plane at this point. Like, I'm like, finally, these people got kicked off. The mean old flight attendants are done laughing at the people who got kicked off. And we're finally getting ready to go. And I got my phone still on so I can find out what's going on with Alura. And she's like, something's wrong with the plane. I gotta get off. Like, I was like, what? And then I'm going in the air. Like, I'm leaving. So I don't know what's going on. My whole flight, I'm like, this is ridiculous. I'm so angry the whole time.
Yeah.
And oh man, it was awful. But,
so we got off the plane and we stood out there for like 15 minutes. It wasn't too bad. And then we all got back on and we flew. And that lady was sitting right by the bathrooms because I went to the bathroom and I was like,
should have brought Mochi with you.
Should have.
That's funny.
So that was our story of our flight from hell.
I guess what I want to say about it is, like, when we went to Wilmington's airport.
Oh, yeah.
It went smooth. When we got to Dallas the second time, it went smooth.
Everybody was so nice.
Yeah, people were nice. And I'm not one to really complain, but I don't feel like I've ever been treated this wrong You know what I mean? Like, it was
Yeah.
really, really bad. And it's like, you get what you give. Like you really do. Like, if you're going to be a flight attendant, yeah, it's going to be long hours. It's going to be hard work. I'm not saying your job's easy. It's not.
And I'm sure they're really short-staffed and
Yeah.
and already just kind of like tired of everything.
But you realize you're putting yourself, you're losing. You're going to put yourself in a situation where somebody's going to be ridiculous, and they're going to wait till you close the door and you're in the sky. Okay? And you're going to get the wrong one day, and somebody's going to lose their mind on you, and you're not going to be able to get away.
Sounds like a threat.
It's not a threat. I'm never going to do that, okay? But
We're never flying again.
I'm never flying American again. But
unless they give us our money back.
no, I ain't worried about. I do want my money back because I need to call them. I will be calling them soon. But yeah, like, you get what you give. So if you want to go up in the air asking for what when I ask for a cup, or just yell C12 at
I should have
somebody,
been like, none of your business. It's your job.
if you want to act that way, you can. But when somebody flips out and starts hollering at you, don't act confused. Don't be the victim. You started the war. So that's.
And I feel like we're really patient people.
We are, like, comparatively, like, yeah, like, we are super quiet and, like, shy people, and like it just.
I don't like talking to people.
I don't like being confrontational if I don't have to. Like, I get it, you know, I get things suck sometimes, but I feel like I was the punching bag in this whole situation for some reason. Like, I know things happen. Be nice to me, and I'll be more understanding.
Yeah.
Don't just leave me don't just leave the desk when I wait 3 hours to talk to you. Don't ignore me. Don't yell C12 at me. Don't ask me what I need a cup for. If I ask you for something, I was like, you just told me when we got on this airplane, ask you for junk, and then you're gonna act that way. Like, it was a really bad experience. So that's our experience with American Airlines, flying back out to Wilmington, North Carolina. That's probably long-winded as all get out. But that's what happened, right?
Yeah. I mean, it was a really, really bad experience. Really bad.
The only good thing, which is really not a good thing, but I could say I slept at the airport now, they didn't offer to fix none of that junk up after keeping me out all night.
Yeah.
But I've done it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a fun thing to admit.
Well, it is what it is. Alright, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Comment down below what is
Your experience.
preferred airline. Oh, or your experience.
Tell us if you got a horror story. Write something terrible down there about American Airlines.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Let's talk crap about American Airlines in the comments section.
Tell us your horror story.
Yeah. And subscribe if you haven't already. Because we make videos on
Travel.
RV living.
Cat.
Seasonal jobs. Cat.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching.
Bye, guys.
Peace.